Hello, welcome to CIT 195 TB Quest Game Sprint 3. My name is PJ Brody. Today is April 14th. The purpose of this sprint is to create a list of game item objects in specific locations and allow the player to add and remove these items from their inventory. The player will also be able to select a weapon and/or item and carry it in hand. The player will also be able to use an item in hand or selected in the inventory. Two specific actions that occur from the use of items are unlocking hotel rooms and increasing user hit points or replenishing them. Starting off at the original location, the player does start off with a few items, a med kit, lunchbox, and then also a pocket knife. Both the med kit and the lunchbox are used to replenish hit points. So if you select on one of them, equip it, and hit the use button, you'll see that the hit points are increased, which if they go over 100, it does increase the lives. And also it does get rid of the weapon carried from the property. You can also use the item from the inventory, and again you'll see that increase the hit points. And as far as the weapons, if you select it and hit equip, you'll see that it does put it in the weapons carried property. This is going to come into play a little bit later on towards the end of the game. To pass through a location without dying, you do have to have a strong enough weapon issued, or you have to have a strong enough weapon in hand. If you move towards the hotel room, you'll see that there is a room key that you can pick up. If you pick up the weapon, or excuse me, pick up the item and then equip it and then use it, you'll see it does unlock the room. You do actually have to be next to the room for it to unlock the room. Otherwise, it doesn't unlock it. Just a few pieces of code that I'd like to go over. Using the model view model, I have bound the action buttons. I've bound the game item name and description through the data grids and also the player property text box. Also, the action buttons are bound to methods in the view model. Once you click the buttons, the view model, or excuse me, it calls a method in the view model. The view model then sets calls methods from the corresponding classes or sets properties of the corresponding classes. Here you'll see the weapon name method is called to return a string for the player weapon carried, and this is when you're equipping equipping the weapon. Most of the Sprint included if-else statements, numerous conditionals, and setting values. I did also use observable collections, which helps control the user interface by track of the items, uh, keeping track of items added or removed from the collection. My progress with the sprint started off slow, but in the last 24 hours, I did make some headway. I was having trouble with binding a couple of the properties. However, I was able to clear up the issue as well as grasp better understanding of setting the properties using different techniques. Heading into the next sprint, I'm considering implementing a method that removes currency from the player based on how much the game item costs, uh, and if the NPC has the item available. I would also like to implement a mission class, and that with this, the player uh, will have to go on a mission, most likely subdue another NPC, take them to the police station, and this will unlock a final location where you can finish the game. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for listening, and have a great night.